BossDan the man.
Where's the? That must be coming from the camera. How is it doing that? That me?
Testing! You shouldn't be able to hear us.
Gosh darn it.
It was at default before, or
It was disabled before.
Did we try default and it was that?
Yeah, it was that original.
So,
Now it's on default.
technical difficulties on Northside Plugged.
Yep, still heard me.
Yeah, fuck it, try it.
Baloney.
Try the other one.
Fuck, man. That one. Yeah. Still didn't work, whatever I did. I changed one more thing. No, that didn't matter either. Frick!
Can I see the mouse?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, take
When you're good. When you're
Go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, take a look. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Cannot finesse.
Jump on those keys.
Cannot finesse.
Oh, that's because I left you to. Skittles. Oh, I did. Hold on. Hold up. Oh, no, I heard Skittles. Dang it.
Skittles.
Frick. What's the issue? I don't know.
Hello!
Golly.
Technical difficulty. Frustrating as shit. Now, what are you thinking, man?
We could just kind of confused as like what's here,
I
what's catching
know.
us. Is it the camera? It has to be the
Or
camera.
the monitor, yeah. So either one of them.
I'm so confused as like what's here, what's catching us. Is it the camera?
Okay. Are we up here already?
No, I'm not.
Alright.
We honestly don't even really need the microphones, but we'll
Yeah.
keep them for aesthetic purposes.
For aesthetic purposes.
For our mental
Our own self benefit. Check it out, check it out, check it out.
Check it out.
We are
Check it out.
Labaroonie over here on Northside Plugged.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
Despite our terrible technical difficulties. We're just going to turn off the music because
that's fine.
not sounding well. There we go. Alright, we're over here on Northside Plugged. How's it going, everybody? Got BossDan the man. Do you mind yeah, this one, let's turn it off.
Alright, cool.
Alright, we're over here on Northside Plugged, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? Thank you for apologizing. Thank you for bearing with us.
Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it as always. Let me send out the link. We were too lost in the technical difficulties to send out the link.
Yes. Go ahead and I'll start us off. We got BossDan, the man to my left over here, sending out the links.
I'm tweeting it out from our Twitter page. You should check it out. It's pretty cool.
And it's your boy G Money Gino over here on the boards. We switched it up last minute. We were trying to
wackadoo
finesse the technical difficulties. We are back in studio here at Q4 after Thanksgiving, the recent Thanksgiving break, and happy to be over here on Northside Plugged. You know.
Yes, very truly blessed and great. After we'll get into how our Thanksgivings were, but it's it's always a blessing to be able to come out here on Thursdays and be able to say what we want to say, get on this is our version of a soapbox, basically, allowing us to kind of use our platform for the best and trying to just send a good message.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Never take it for granted, for sure. And again, I always gotta say thank you to John, thank you to Irvin, thank you to everybody here at Q4 for allowing us the opportunity to be here. To do exactly what BossDan said, to be able to use this platform, whether the technical difficulties are working or not, whether people are tuning in or not, history will go to show that people will value this time because there's always something interesting to say and something important to say, you know? So, to our listeners that will hopefully be tuning in and coming through, we are listening on Q4 Radio. If you're not listening to us or watching us on our YouTube channel, which is live right now on Northside Plugged YouTube channel, you can listen to us at www.q4.org or the TuneIn app or iTunes Radio or AM 1680. And if you want to give us a call and chop it up about any various topics that we're discussing on tonight's show, you can call us at 312-985-7834. Again, that's 312-985-7834.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm just trying to share it to our Facebook page right now. I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, we really apologize for the technical difficulties. We're a little all over the place today, and we appreciate you all for your patience as always. And we love you all as the people who tune in and follow us. And without you, it'd be hard to do this. So I know we're not the Breakfast Club, and we're not Shade 45 or whatever other Big Boy Radio or whatever else, but I just am very grateful and thankful for having this platform and being able to come out here and being able to rant about how the MLB lockout is ridiculous and the players are getting screwed. Being able to get out my feelings for the Loyola Ramblers and their destiny, their quest for greatness. And sometimes we talk about bigger things more than just sports and music. And today's gonna be one of those days where it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of weird timing, almost like good timing that the technical difficulties happen, because this is I think it's a very serious topic, and I think with kind of where we were kind of talking pre-show about what we wanted to discuss and how we were talking about mental health, and we're gonna dive into it for a little bit. It's not something. It didn't happen by accident. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like it was purposeful that we had these technical difficulties that kind of pushed us to kind of just focus in on the topic and not worry about the frills. And see, like, I'm talking into the mic still, and I don't even know if if it's picking up through the mic or if it's picking up through the camera or the monitor. We're not really sure.
Well, at least through the radio, I think they can still hear us.
They can still hear us through the radio?
Yeah.
Is that what? Yeah, they can hear us on the radio.
Yes.
Oh, so the mics are for the radio. Because the mics are, okay. And then the YouTube is through this bad boy right here.
Yeah.
Cool. So everyone can hear us, no matter where you are. If you're viewing us, if you're viewing our beautiful mugs, or you're hearing our beautiful voices, this is an important conversation that I think we need to talk about. And I feel like we've talked about this before, but in light of recent events in our lives, this is something that I felt was needed to be kind of thrown out there. And just, I think it's something that we've, over the past like couple years, like the decade or less in the U.S., I feel like mental health has been pushed to the forefront of importance in people's lives, and like important that people check it, or like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like that, like, for a while mental health was just kind of not even worried about, and like people would judge if you went to a therapist, or like didn't understand how to properly gauge those emotions, or how to properly describe what they were feeling, or they were afraid to admit that they were just going through a mental struggle, because it used to be shown as like a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
But as more and more data comes out and more things show up, I think, and I feel like as I grow older, I feel like I realize more that mental health is as important, if not more important, than your physical health, because the brain is your most vital organ. Yeah. Like, sure, the heart like pumps your blood and whatever, but without the brain, you literally can't exist, and you don't have thought, and you can't do anything. Absolutely. You know what I mean? You can't think about your favorite song. You can't process your favorite song or your favorite show, or talk to your family or your friends, or even be able to get up in the morning and brush your teeth.
Absolutely. Like, the
brain is so important for everything you do as a human that it's the most important organ. Like, I'll rank it over the heart. I'll say it. It's important that we try to take care of that as much as we can. And like I said, our society has been pushing it as mental health is pushing it to the forefront of importance over the past few years. And even with that, I still don't think it's talked about enough.
Absolutely not.
And there was on I don't want to get into the details, but there was something that happened with my family over Thanksgiving that made me kind of like, I've been thinking about mental health for a while. I've been debating on seeing a therapist. For me now more than ever, I don't think I'm debating on seeing a therapist. It's just more of when I can see them, when I have the ability, time, and money to kind of see them, because I think it's important that you don't hold your emotions in. I think it's important, like when we were discussing before the show, like talking with you, Money, I felt so much release just like saying some things out loud.
Absolutely, man.
Like when I said some of those things, it just felt so good to get those off my chest because I haven't really said them aloud yet to anyone. I had some discussions, but like just saying, the more you say things out loud and the more you can get those out of your brain just into the world, I guess.
Absolutely.
It makes you feel better, and just like saying things aloud and admitting things to yourself can go a long way in making your mental health and your overall well-being just better.
For sure, man. And it's important to always know that, like, you have people that are there for you to be able to express how you feel. Even when it's those darkest moments, or those moments where you just feel misunderstood, or people don't, I don't know, just kind of isolated in your own head or your own emotions, and I think that's what mental health really is at the end of the day. Is we all have, I don't believe that there's anybody in this world that doesn't deal with some sort of mental health disability, whether it's like debilitating or it's just something that you kind of like learn how to maneuver, but there's still things that affect you on a day-to-day basis. We all have things that affect us emotionally.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at the end of the day, like this is something that always should be a topic of conversation. I don't think there's ever really a bad time to talk about mental health. It's just not everybody has the willingness and the strength at the end of the day to be able to have these conversations, especially on a platform like this. A lot of people, like, we can easily talk about sports and music and culture and whatever we want to talk about, but it's a choice at the end of the day to be like, no, we're going to deliberately talk about what's going on in our heads, whether it's just how we're feeling about things, or things that we're dealing with on the day-to-day, because at the end of the day, it's important, and it's a part of life. And the people that are listening, or the people that will, whether tomorrow or next week or next year or in 10 years, so happen to, come across this stream, or our channel, can listen to this in whether it's real time or, in history, and be like, damn, like, they do understand what I'm going through, or they're going through stuff just like I am. I'm not the only one that's going through things. It's just like, we all want to feel like we're a part of something, especially in our downtimes when it feels like we're so alone. It's like you don't want somebody to like be going through what you're going through, or feeling the same thing, but you never know when that person may. If and when that person may be dealing with the same thing or whatever, or I don't know. So it's like, it's important, and it's okay to be open, because if we're not open about our mental health, at the end of the day, we're just going to be hurting ourselves at the end of the day in the long run,
Yeah, and it's not always easy to put things out there, and it's definitely not easy to like. Say, sometimes it's hard to say things aloud. Like you'll be having it in your head, and you'll be thinking it, and you think it's normal, and then you try to say it out loud, and it just doesn't happen, or like it doesn't feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, it doesn't feel comfortable to say those things, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just so important at the end to just talk about your problems, and to just say things out loud, because getting them out in the air and is just so important. And I posted this on my story today because, like I said, like what happened over Thanksgiving with my family, it was tough for all of us, and it was one of the worst Thanksgivings in recent memory. It just makes me realize that like everyone has struggles. Everyone goes through something. There's not a single person in this world who has a perfect life and doesn't have something that eats at them inside. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think it's so important that you reach out to your friends, you reach out to your family, you reach out to people that you haven't spoken to in years. Yeah. Like just to be like, hey, I was thinking of you. Mm-hmm. I hope you're doing well. Let's talk soon. Hey, remember when we did this? That was awesome. Yeah. I hope you're doing well. Let's grab a beer. Hey, I love you. Like, saying I love you to friends and family is so important. For sure. Like, letting people know that you care about them so much and that you would be devastated if they weren't here, I think is so important that we forget at the end of the day. Sometimes we just get so caught up in what we want, and I know I'm a victim of this. We get so caught up in what we're doing, mm-hmm. and we get so caught up in like today I was at work, and then I went to practice, and then I came here, and I was home for all of 30 minutes to shower. Mm-hmm. I grabbed food on the road. Everyone gets busy. Everyone gets all caught up in their own lives, and I understand that sometimes it's hard to reach out to other people and to check on them and see how they're doing. But if you do have the free time and when you do have the chance, try to reach out to people. Make sure they're okay. Yeah. Because especially after this past 2 years, like 2020 took a major toll on so many people. Like not just physically, not just with COVID, but mental health. Like mental health was probably taking a huge toll at like an all-time high because of everything. Being stuck. Some people were stuck alone for months. Mm-hmm. Some people couldn't see their family for months. Yeah. Some people could only see their roommate and go to the grocery store and see strangers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sure. that time has been so tolling on, and it's changed the perspective of, everyone's perspectives change on things. Mm-hmm. I think that's why, I think this past 2 years has been my reason for mental health, like, taking a huge swing. Mm-hmm. And it's really made me want to go see a therapist. And it's funny because during the pandemic, I started The Sopranos. For those of you who are unaware, who haven't watched The Sopranos, a big relationship in The Sopranos is Tony Soprano seeing his therapist. Mm-hmm. Because he passes out and has like a panic attack. Yeah. And like has to go see his doctor's like, you have to go see a therapist to talk about your issues. And like for an late 90s, early 2000s show. And it's funny because like Tony, and like the first season is all about Tony not wanting to admit that he sees a therapist. Mm-hmm. Like his wife thinks he's cheating on him, and he's like, no, like I'm seeing a therapist. Yeah. Because like because like he's afraid he will look weak and he'll look like a coward. Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, this big Italian mobster is like seeing a therapist. He's so weak. Mm-hmm. And I think the more I think about that, the more I don't think that's true. I think going to a therapist is one of the strongest things you can do. Absolutely. It just shows that you're looking to get better. You're looking to improve yourself. And for those of you who have seen Ted Lasso, a big part of season 2 is talking about mental health. Mm-hmm. And like Ted struggles with therapy, and like he doesn't believe in therapists, and he's just all against it. And it's becoming more relevant in our mainstream because of how important people realize it's become in our lives. For sure. That more shows are talking about it, and it's in more cultural. It's mainstream culture now. It's the importance on mental health, and that's so important. I'm so glad that we're taking the focus on it because it needs to be discussed. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be. You need to. Like I said, it's as important, if not more important, than your physical health. Mm-hmm. So if you love to work out at the gym and you like are a gym junkie, and you have to make sure that you like go to the gym for an hour every day, or like make sure you take the time for your mental health as well. Make sure you meditate. Make sure you write down what the goods and bads of the day, mm-hmm. or just anything like that. Like I want to try to meditate more. Just take like 15 minutes to kind of sit there, compose myself, think about what the day is. And just all those things, you know what I mean? And yeah, I think now more than ever, it's just so much more important. Absolutely. Than ever.
Absolutely, man. It's just it's like recalibrating your mind, man. And on the topic of therapy, bro, like I highly advise and would suggest to anybody that's going through something that feels like they don't have anybody to talk to, or you, not even in the sense of you don't have anybody to talk to, but you just need a like unbiased individual, you know, to listen to your stuff. I can
someone who's not personally, who doesn't like doesn't or doesn't. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
But someone who doesn't know you and like or know the people or things you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like they can't be like, oh, that's just your mom. Like don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Someone who can be like, why do you think that is, or like kind of answer those. I've never been to therapy, so like I'm just like basing what I've seen off things, but like, why do you think that is, or like asking the correct questions instead of just being like, oh, that's your dad. Like don't worry about him. That's just how he is.
Yeah.
It's so much bigger than that.
Absolutely. No, that's I mean that's pretty much what it is, man. You know, and when I went to therapy, I was actually blessed because actually not. All I'm gonna say is what's it called? In therapy, man, I just found that yeah, bro. Like I mean, mental health has always been. I've always dealt with like depression and anxiety in its own forms and stuff, you know, and just going through a lot of my own stuff. So once I started going to therapy, it was just really relieving, bro. You know, it was really just like I can sit here and I can talk to my therapist, and she was really cool. And I don't know. I guess my biggest takeaway out of the whole experience, I probably did it for like less than a year, like bi-weekly, you know. So it's not like I was doing it a lot, but it still made a huge difference because every time I would go, we would talk about stuff and yada yada yada. But then it would just be like at the end of each session, we would through conversation and then just personally for myself, after each session, I would come out with like a takeaway, you know, like a takeaway or what's it called? I'm sorry, I guess like a lesson, like a word of the day, if you want to say, you know. I can't off the top of my head remember like what it was, just because it was very like specialized in the moment, you know. But it's just like whatever you're going through and whatever you're expressing, you're talking to this therapist, and you kind of just that person is just helping you maneuver through what you're going through, you know. And they're paid obviously to help to do exactly that, you know. And they've gone through all these courses and schooling and learning just to basically be there as an unbiased person to help you maneuver through your own mind, you know. And then it's just like you go through your session, you go through your stuff, and it's hard, you know, but then you come out of it and you're like, oh, okay. It's like a monkey off your back, and then you go out into the world and you like apply what you talked about and what you learned, you know. And then for me, it was like I said, it was like 2 weeks. So I would have 2 weeks to be like, okay, in the back of my mind, this is what I was dealing with. This is what my therapist, shout out to Faria, that was her name, super cool. She would just help me go through my own mind, and then it'd be like, okay, this is my objective. I have to, I don't know, just prioritize your mind on what to stress about, you know, and not to stress about these little things or what, you know. I'm trying to pinpoint, but at the end of the day, it's so subjective because everybody goes through their own stuff. Yep. So it's like, you know, you have to go into that session just at the end of the day, be willing to be open and willing to like just be vulnerable, you know, because if you're going into a therapy session and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, on like a social aspect, like, oh, I don't know this person, like, I don't know if I can trust this person, like, how much should I open up to this person, you know. It's like, at the end of the day, you just have to go and get your stuff out, you know. And, you know, you'll be able to read based off of that first session, you know. Is like, is this somebody that I'm vibing with? Because at the end of the day, that's what, you know, human connection is. It's like, it's a vibe with energy with one or the other. So it's like, if you're blessed to find a therapist that you're like comfortable with, that makes it even easier, you know, because you're like, oh, okay, this person kind of, you know, we're on the same wavelength to a certain extent, and I can just now feel comfortable sitting here just putting my stuff out, you know. And oh, like just like going to the gym, like you said, it's the same thing. It's like you'll have that first session, and then it's like, okay, it's definitely helpful. But I feel like I still got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of things to work on, yada yada yada. So then, boom, you hit that next session. Okay, it's like lifting weights. It's like you go and you that first day. You might feel you lifted all those weights, you feel it, but it's not like you're gonna look in the mirror and see any progress,
Oh, that's a good point.
And then that second time you go, it's like still you don't see much progress, but you feel it. It's at the end of the day, it's accumulation. And like you were kind of saying, bro, like the mind is a muscle, and like we're so focused on. I'm sorry, I'm going.
No, please. You're fine.
We're maneuvering through our daily lives, and that's the physical realm of the human. It's not the whole mental. It's the mental is what's making it happen. The collective consciousness per se. And the thing is, like, because we can't see our thought processes and we can't always see our emotions on other people or this, that, whatever, it gets lost in the freight. So it's like, when you have, if I were to come in here today and I had like a cast on my arm or whatever, knock on wood, nothing happens, but it's just like, you're like, what happened? Are you okay? Blah, 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 But, we came in here, we were both going through our stuff. If we weren't as willing to be open as we are, we could have just been, you ready to start the show, yada, yada, yada. But no, it's like, no, we have a personal relationship, so we're always first and foremost going to, see how we are and check up on each other, and that always just leads to, the real spiel.
Mm-hmm.
So that, you just got to, you as the listener just have to really find, those people and those energies in your life that you're comfortable with, and that you can trust. Like, I know it's, especially in the city, it's so hard to trust people, and especially when you're trying to, like, when you feel like you have to open up because you're feeling like, I might get into it with this person one day and they're gonna use my feelings and they're gonna use my vulnerability against me, and like that's definitely gonna happen. Like that's you're always susceptible to that, which is unfortunate, and that's why you got to be careful. But at the same time, it's just like that's why you got to put in that work and put in that effort to, like, I don't know, it's kind of a guessing game, but at the same time, it's all about gut, and it's like if you've been through it with people that you trust in your life, and you guys know and feel like you can count on each other. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you just have to ride that wave, and God forbid anything happens in the future and things change, yada yada. But long story short, like if you have real relationships, and the love is true, like, your peoples are always gonna be there for you, and more importantly, like, your peoples are always gonna understand, and that's the main thing. And it's just like that's all you can really ask for in life is for people to understand. It's like I can't 24/7 be in BossDan's life, just like BossDan can't 24/7 be in my life. But at the end of the day, through our endeavors, we always know that we have each other's backs. I always know that I can count on Dan. I always know, like, we're a phone call away, and I hope I'm sure he does. Like, vice versa, it's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Before we turn it back over to you, Dan, I just want to get to the comment section. Shout out to Vane. She said, "It's such a breath of fresh air seeing men speak about mental health. Personally feel that men are more at risk for mental instability due to societal perspective." Well, thank you, first and foremost, Vane. Appreciate you for that very meaningful and thoughtful comment. I'll let BossDan hit that if you like.
I was literally gonna respond to that her comment, because I think it's a great point. I believe November was Men's Mental Health Month, or Mental Health Awareness Month, because like I was referring to with like the Sopranos thing. It's like men being weak is like makes you look like less of a man. Like being mentally weak is like one of the worst. Like from her, like she said, societal perspective. Like if you have to go see a therapist, you look like a weakling. Like you look like less of a man. Like that's how society has been for decades. Like if you, or like even like before mental health, like if you were just a weak man, like you were, you were not on the top of society. You know what I mean? Like it's going back to the days of the Romans. Like if you were weak, you were a lesser man.
Yeah.
Like it's always been like that. Like the best man is the one who's the strongest and the most fit, and the mentally strongest and the most fit. You know what I mean? Like it's always been in our society like that, and I think it's stronger to admit that you have those problems and that you want to address them than just bottling them inside and hoping that they solve themselves, which I've learned it's not that that's not the proper solution to if you want to make those feelings and make that anxiety or make that stress or depression or whatever go away.
Yeah.
Keeping those things inside is not gonna solve the issue.
Absolutely.
Just like when, like if you like imagine your bedroom and like you drop dirty laundry, instead of putting it in your laundry basket to clean, just throwing it, like just leaving it there, sliding it under your bed. Like if you don't take care of that stuff, your bed is gonna be under your bed is gonna be so much dirty laundry that it's going to be too overwhelming and you're not going to be able to clean it. You're going to have to throw things out.
Sure.
Or like you're going to have to, you can't take care of it.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly how it is with like mental stress. Like you can't just like take something and just throw it away and say like, oh, I'm going to deal with that later. Like you have to have a plan in place to take care of that. You can't just keep it bottled up inside and hope itself. You can't just throw it under your mattress and hopes it cleans itself and puts it away. Yeah. Like you have to take it out, clean it, fold it, and put it back in. Yeah. You can't just take that problem and just store it in the back of your brain and hope it solves itself. You have to say it out loud, address it, speak to someone about it, biased or unbiased, and just say it out loud and see what they have to say just so you can try to solve that issue.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think men, so many times, like I said, they just don't want to address the issue. Like, because they feel like it makes them feel weak, which is such bullcrap. Like, I think it's such crap that mental health for men is such, like, if you're weak, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how to say it, but like that just makes me so mad that like Vonnie's point is like so true, and it makes me mad that mental instability is socially unacceptable.
Yeah, but this is the thing, man, and this is how I've kind of finessed the game in my head. Because at the end of the day, bro, it's all a game to me. Like, mentally, like trying to snap yourself into a good position is, I don't know, bro. I'm always playing mental games. I'm always trying to, like, just keep myself at a balanced level, bro, because I'm always, like, I can naturally just get sucked into my depression, or I can get sucked into my anxiety, you know? Like, one or the other, it's going to hit. So, within that balance, bro, let me tell you, bro, this is how I turned my life around mentally. Because back in, like, what was it? Up to high school, bro. Like, I mean, school in general, bro, used to give me, like, super crazy anxiety, bro. Because I know a lot of kids can, like, relate with this. I had a lot of just pressure on me to just do good, be great, you know, just get through school, do what you gotta do, you know? I wasn't trying to, you know, be a failure, basically. You know, so with that was a lot of pressure, and in the anxiety of homework and tests and yada yada yada, and also within that, like, learning about my own kind of like minor learning disabilities, like I was always feeling like the way that I was processing information was kind of slowing me down. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that always was a lot of my anxiety. So fast forward, coming up to high school. That's continuing, yada, yada, yada. I'm feeling the same things. I'm still doing decent, you know. I was always able to finesse those grades and tile the best that I could, yada, yada, yada. But fast forward, I would say it was probably like my sophomore year of high school, right? And I went to Lane Tech, so you got 4,000 plus students, city, public school. A lot comes with that type of experience, you know. So, like, it took me my whole freshman year, basically, to even get acclimated into that. So, I bring all this up because, we'll get to the comments in a second. Basically, bro, like, I was just letting so many factors, whether it be school, whether it be the social scene, whether it be myself, I was just letting all these exterior forces just allow to continue to attack me. You know, I'm not saying it was like bullying or things like that, but it's just like day-to-day things that, you know, constantly affect you emotionally, you know. So it just got to the point, and I would say this was my sophomore junior year, and this is the emphasis of my point of what I'm saying, is that I got to the point, and also also with the help of marijuana, should I say, because that was super key in my like kind of healing, you know, because it opened my mind in a whole different way, and my thought processes almost like changed and enhanced, you know. But in that moment where like I was getting to a point where I was so fed up of feeling like shit, you know. I want to say it so bad because that's how I feel, you know.
Just feeling like crap, ladies and gentlemen.
Like crap, but it would get to the point where, you know, being an only child, I have a lot of downtime at nights, you know, and it's like I would have to question like, why am I feeling like this? What is it that is making me feel like this? Who and why and blah blah blah, and just all these questions. And again, it's always going to be subjective. You know, you have to ask yourself the questions that you are, you know, that's making you feel down.
Yes.
And, you know, and only you can go deep into yourself and soul search. And one of the biggest things that really helped me to turn my life around, bro, mentally, was like in those questions. And once I started like getting my answers of like, okay, this is why this is making me feel down, and I'm putting myself down, you know, I'm super insecure because I'm just putting myself down, yada yada yada. But a lot of my turnaround in life was like at that point, like sophomore-ish, junior-ish of high school, I was going back into like I was reminiscing / just going back in time of my whole life, bro. And I was thinking about and trying to pinpoint the like happiest points of my life and what moments was I doing things that I was enjoying that like just made me feel good. And for me, it was like playing basketball or playing sports and stuff, and like I was doing like different instruments and stuff, you know, yada yada yada. So obviously now fast forward, you know, that's my whole thing. I'm involved in music and sports. But that's just really what it was I was just asking myself those questions and figuring out when in life was I the happiest. And also for me, bro, like I figured out in grade school, bro, I never cared what people thought about me, bro. I never even like thought about it, you know. It never crossed my mind. I would just do things, you know. And a lot of the times I would make mistakes and I would get in trouble, but at the end of the day I would just do, you know. But then it was like you get older and naturally, you know, you go through your adolescent teen years, and then you're even, you know, I don't know, in your 20s and stuff, you still get caught up in that. You're just thinking about sometimes, but more so in that young age of like, you know, people judging you and insecurities and blah, 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 blah. But the key to all of this and the sum of my point, bro, and I'm going to loop this back to you, is that you just have to figure out in your own life how to not give a crap, you know, and how to not give an F in any way. And not to the point where you don't care about anything. Like, you know, you can't go that far. But again, it goes back to prioritizing what you care about, you know? And I think the most like general, universal things is first and foremost yourself, you know, caring about where this whole topic started is your mental health, and realizing, yo, I'm not feeling well, you know. You gotta make sure that you're good before anybody else is good, you know. And that leads to the next one, which is family, you know, or your close ties, or whoever it is that's close in your life, you know. It's like you take care of yourself, you take care of your family, you know, God willing, with, you know, good health, whether physical, mental, spiritual. Excuse me. You know, with those two factors, you're most likely going to be able to turn it around in your life and figure it out, you know. So just ask yourself those questions. Have that I don't give a mess mentality, and just start going day by day and fighting that mental battle, because it's again, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen the next day, but you're definitely going to take steps that are going to lead you there.
Yeah, just taking one step today is a good sign. Like, I think the workout example was perfect that you said that. Just like working out a muscle, you can't do 10 curls and immediately expect your bicep to be ginormous.
Right.
You can't go to one therapy session or read one article about your therapy and immediately get better. That's just not how it works. I definitely agree with that. Let's read some of these comments. Should we start from the top of the... We'll go Emily's first. Shouts out to Emily, always listening. She said, especially because our society is so male-centered, men not caring for their mental health has so many negative effects on their kids, parents, colleagues, partners, etc. It can be so frustrating to watch. And that's so true. Yeah. Because the male-dominated society, if their mental health's off, it can affect not themselves but their family members, and that's a phenomenal point, because I think that's what leads to so many problems in families and households is that men aren't stable enough to handle those relationships,
and then it leads to domestic abuse, alcoholism, all these different things,
drug abuse, and all these certain things. That's so dangerous, and I think that's a phenomenal point, Emily, because that's so true about playing off what Van said about the mental instability is such a societal, like, it's just how society sees, like, if you're mentally weak, society looks at you as and I think that is changing, but like that's just how society's been for hundreds of years.
But this is the point, and I just want to get it back to you, but this is what because you keep saying, and I'm not saying, I'm just saying in general, because you're absolutely right.
Just slammed my heel on the chair. That's okay, though. Sorry.
You're good.
Sorry, don't mind my face.
This is what, we say society this and society that, and that's my point. It's like, you can't care about what society thinks, because at the end of the day, this is what I realized, bro, is that, like, majority of the times, bro, people don't even care, bro. You know? Like, people don't care. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's a bad thing. Like, it sucks that more people don't care about what you're going through, but at the same time, it's like, in a way, it's like, it's kind of good, because I may be thinking, oh, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. This person thinks that person doesn't care. They got their own stuff that they're dealing with and whatnot, So it's like, we as individuals, I don't know if it's, just an American thing, if it's a human thing, whatever, but we get so caught up in just caring about what people think about us, and like everything that I do in my individual endeavors, I can't do this because this person thinks this, or I can't do that because that person like High School Musical, basically. You feel me? Like, I mean, it's just like that's society, and it's just like you have to get to that point, and it's like. That's what I talk about, a mental game. Like, I built my mind up, bro, to the point every day for the past, like, literally 10 years, bro, to the point where it's like, I don't care. Literally convincing my mind, I don't care. Like, I would literally sit in my own lonesome and be like, I don't care. Because truthfully I didn't, but I had to convince myself that I don't, and it's just like, once you get to the point where, like, okay, I don't care about the trivial, mediocre things. I'm only pinpointing and opening my eyes to what I do have and my blessings, and it's like, once I know what's, like, good, but I can still see the bad, then it's like, okay, I got everything that I need in my corner, and now it's like, I feel like I got that ammo to basically... It's like I'm basically building up my own self-esteem to fight my own inner demons. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's like, when you're on your own, it's like, ain't nobody gonna fight your demons but you, So I don't know if this is all, I'm kind of going around, so I hope that makes sense. But, yeah, bro, I'm gonna throw it back to you.
No, I completely agree. And, yeah, I think you put it well. And, yeah, like, there's so much stress about, and I'm definitely a victim of caring about what other people think about me. I am one of those people that needs everyone to like me.
And that's the thing, who cares? Like, no, I get what you're saying.
No, but I agree with you. Like, why does that matter to me?
Of course, we want to be liked, you know, but
like, why do I care so much about what other people think about me? Because you're right, it doesn't matter.
But also,
like, the only
you were
people
raised right, bro. You feel me?
Right. But that, I think that it could be a reflection of how I was growing, like how I grew up, and like, but at the same time, like, the only people that you should care about what they think of you are your friends and your family. Like people that I work with, like, why should I care if that dude likes me? Like, sure, I work with him, but like, do I need him to be my friend?
Right.
Like,
and it's cool. Like, if they like you, it's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. But like,
awesome.
If we don't get along,
who cares?
Who cares?
Exactly.
Like, why should I stress over that?
Exactly.
That's like, not, if they're not gonna like me, why should I stress and waste my time trying to make them like me?
Exactly.
Or like things like that. I'm not calling out people at work. Right. I'm just giving an example.
Exactly. It's
like,
all about self-respect. You know.
Yeah.
It's all about self-respect, and you gotta. I don't know, like, in any types of relationships, you know, whether it's relationships that you've had for years or you're trying to pursue relationships, at the end of the day, it's all about self-respect, because, you know, you want to have good relationships, but it's just like, if I'm trying to constantly engage and I'm trying to, like, have a relationship with you, it's like, you know, whatever, but you're just, you know, basically not reciprocating the energy. It's like, for me, it puts me in a tough spot, because it's like, me as a person, and this is a general statement, you know, me as a person with self-respect, it's like, you're putting me in a position where it's like, I'm trying to do good, and I like you, and I want to, you know, whether it's like do stuff or just have a good relationship. And whether this is like romantic relationships or just friend relationships, I'm just talking very generally. Yeah. But point being is, like, you in this position, in this chair, you know, like, you have to, like, are you going to have enough self-respect to be like, okay, this person isn't rocking with me. Am I just going to move on because I realize, like, they're not giving me the same, you know? So it's like, or am I just going to keep, like, I don't know, just fooling myself into thinking, like, yo, just because I like this person, I'm going to forget that this person isn't reciprocating, and I'm just basically going to continue to put myself in this continuous, like, loop of thinking this person likes me, but they don't actually like me. Because I'm not strong enough to step away from this relationship and go out into the world and do what's best for me. And in that process, the right energies are going to gravitate towards me, because I chose my self-respect, rather than staying in this continuous loop of surrounding myself with people that have been in my life, or people that I want in my life that don't give a F about me, you know?
Yes.
So I feel like that's the position we all kind of find ourselves. But the stronger mentally, you know, those strongest mentally are the ones that choose to act upon that and are like, okay, this is the turn that I'm going to take in my life, you know?
Yes, and those are the strongest people. And like we've been saying, the hardest part is taking the first step. So just taking that first step to address that you have this issue that you need to solve, or that you need to speak about this issue with someone, or you need to read up on certain things to make yourself, like, more aware of what's going on with you. You know what I mean? Like, taking that first step seems hard, and like, just acknowledging that you need to take that step, or acknowledging that you need to turn, like you were saying, to take that turn is an important step.
Absolutely.
But then taking that first step towards that turn, towards that change, is so important, because then once you take that first step, every step after that just gets a little bit easier.
Absolutely.
And after a while, like we said, it's not like a snap and you're the good thing. It's not like a take a pill and you're all right. Like, the brain is a very complicated muscle that has so many neurons and so many other things going around it and bouncing off ideas, and has random memories from your 5th grade English teacher. Like, you know what I mean? Absolutely. Like, there's so much going on up in here that you need to be able to just step back and be like, whoa, like, what's going on? How can I fix what is hurting me right now?
And it's all perspective too, you know? It's just like, let me put it this way, bro. Like, I was going through my own, you know, emotions and my own family things that were, you know, affecting me through this past week and whatnot. And then it's like, you know, Dan and I have our conversation. We see, you know, we haven't seen each other in a couple of weeks, so we were reconnecting. And then it's like, boom, you know, whole time BossDan had a harder time than I did. and I had a hard time. You feel me? And that's the thing, you know, it's just like you never know what someone's going through.
You never know.
It's all perspective, you know, and it's just like you can think and you might see it as, I'm not saying in this scenario, I'm just saying in general, it's like that somebody is all good and they're all right, but we're all dealing with stuff. We all have peoples, or we all have, you know, maybe we don't have peoples, and that's what's affecting you. You know, it's like everybody's situation is so different and subjective, and like you're just because this person is going through a lot worse, or this and that, and whatever, doesn't take away from like what you're going through. You know,
right.
It's like your pains and your struggles are just as important and just as relevant as the next person's pains and struggles.
Yes.
You know,
no one's more important than you. As J. Cole said, no such thing as life that's better than yours.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, so it's just like, but again, in those moments, you still have to have the perspective to realize, okay, like maybe I'm going through something, but I can realize that this person's going through a lot more. So it's like, you know, you still go through your things, but you're still, you know, you're still with your peoples. If you want to comment on that, you can.
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit, just like being able to understand that people, like, you don't know what people are going through, and that's the scariest thing about mental health, is that, because I keep comparing it to physical health. Physical health, if you see someone with a broken arm, or like you see them like limping, you're gonna be like, oh, like, what's wrong? You're like, you're gonna ask about it because you can physically see it. It's not always as easy to see mental health problems. It's not always like you can't just see someone and be like, oh, that man's like not all right. Like, I should ask him. You know what I mean? Like, sure, like there are signs, but it's definitely not as easy. Yeah. And that's why I think you can really judge the character of a person by how they treat strangers, because I think like, for me, I think, like we've been saying this, like exactly what we were just saying. You never know what someone's going through, so why would you just treat a random person like crap?
Right.
Like, why would you just like be rude to someone automatically?
Well, because that person feels like crap, but they don't know how to like. Again, they're not taking the necessary steps to process it and figure it out for themselves. So instead of taking the harder route, which is seeking therapy, finding help, whatever, they're like, oh, I don't care, this is a good topic because it's like they gained that I don't give a F mentality, but they took it too far to the point where it's like, oh, I don't care about anybody. So it's you play the victim role in that sense. It's like, oh, I'm going through all of this. I'm not going to stop and think about what everybody else is going through. It's just I'm dealing with this, and the whole world revolves around me because I'm going through this. You know, it's like, no, again, it stops. You got to stop. It's empathy, and you got to, I don't know, meditation, like you said. You just have to slowly make sense of it, and that's the thing. People just are constantly running from their problems, whether it's like literally running away from their problems, like traveling to different states to get away from the issues that you have at home, or just mentally, it's just like, what, like you said with the laundry, it's like you're just gonna leave your laundry continuously because you hate, I don't know, you just can't deal with the fact of like, yo, I have to one day just suck it up, pick up all this dirty laundry, deal with it and clean it, but it's like sooner or later you have to do it, and it's like, if you're not dealing with that, then you're never going to be able to feel like you can go out into the outside world and have like a fresh just aura and feeling.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Did you want to say something?
I was going to read the next one as well.
Excellent.
I read this. So our next comment was from Kid ISO.
Kid ISO.
Our brother. Love you, Kid ISO. Thank you for tuning in. He said, I absolutely agree. It's sometimes very hard to open up about mental health as a man because of society. These types of conversations are always very important. Thank you, fellas. You are so welcome, ISO, and that's exactly why we're having this conversation. Like I said, there were events when I went home that made me immediately want to talk about this on this show. I don't want to get into the details, but it's just so important to have these conversations, and like I'm always grateful for, and like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm always so grateful to have this space to talk about the Ramblers' offensive troubles, or the Patriots' new quarterback, or shooting a music video with G Money, or what about like Black Lives Matter, and like important thing, like some important, not some not as important, but mental health is definitely up there in terms of importance, and that's why I think that this is going to be a strictly mental health show. I know I put other topics on there, but I really don't want to talk about anything else.
Yeah.
I think this is so important that we talk about this and it's easy to reflect because of what happened. That's why I want to talk about it. I know that, and I know we've talked about mental health before, but not in the sense of taking a whole hour plus on just this. Like, we'll talk about it for a few minutes and just be like, oh yeah, mental health is important. Like, you should do that. Yeah. And then, or like, it'll play off like the other topics we talk about, but we don't just sit here and discuss why it's important and how we can help ourselves and others be better, more aware of our mental health, and try to work on our mental health to just be better.
Absolutely, man. You know, and I don't know, man. Well, let's read another comment, because I absolutely agree with that. We have Pedro, shout out to Pedro. He said, there's this YouTube channel called Cinema Therapy where a therapist breaks down movie characters. Oh, that's interesting. Good place to learn more about mental health in a digestible way with examples. Awesome. Thank you, Pedro. So that is interesting. Cinema Therapy for anybody that's interested. I will definitely check that out.
I will definitely check that out as well.
Absolutely.
As a movie guy, I'm very curious to see how they break down some characters that I'm sure I've seen before. Absolutely. And I bet the cool part about that is it's like an indirect way to address your own mental health. Because like, you're not directly getting answers, but like, you might see something that Forrest Gump, like just a random movie character. You might see something that Forrest Gump goes through, and like this cinema therapist might break it down in a certain way, and you'll be like, oh wow, like I went through that same thing, or I went through something similar. Maybe that's why my brain does this, and like this is how I can like fix that. You know what I mean? Like, just taking any sort of step. It doesn't have to be therapy. It can just be the meditation. It can be watching cinema therapy. It could be reading an article. It could be just talking to a friend. Like, any sort of step you can take towards improving your mental health is so important. Absolutely. And I encourage everyone to do it and try to do it as much as they can.
Absolutely. And it's all about connection, bro. And on the topic of meditation, bro, because I feel like, first and foremost, I'm no guru. I'm no, what's the word? I'm no monk. You feel me? Like, I'm no priest. I'm nothing. You know, I'm nothing like that. But I definitely can say that I've like worked hard to or attempted to tap into my spiritual realm in whatever sense that makes sense to me. In whatever sense that makes to me. Sorry. So on the topic of meditation, bro, through my lens, I feel like a lot of people, you know, think of meditation as, you know, you got to cross your legs and you got to, you know. Hey, if that works for you, that's what's up. That's great. But at the end of the day, meditation, through what I found in some, like, I forgot whether it was like videos or what I read upon, whatever, like, the best way that I can break down meditation for anybody that's just going through their own just crap, you know, your own mental health issues and whatnot, and, you know, is trying to figure out how to, like, best meditate in your life. Like, don't even think about it as meditation. Like, don't think of the word meditation. You know, think about meditation as just taking some, like, alone time for yourself, or time to, like attempt to clear your mind as much as possible. And the best way to do that is to just breathe. You know, breathing is the simplest form of meditation. You know, literally practicing your breaths and like channeling into that, you know, because, you know, you go home, you watch TV, you listen to music, you cook some food, you play video games, you watch sports,
you scroll Twitter,
you do all of that, and all of those things alone take away from your meditation. Anything that you're doing to distract your mind is taking away from your meditation. You know, so you can even be on the bus and be meditating. You can be, like, in class. You can be at work meditating. You can meditate anywhere. You don't have to just like with praying. You feel me? I mean, I know a lot, you know, there's going to be strong Christians or Catholics or maybe another religion that is going to say, well, you have to get down on your knees and you have to put both hands and you know, this, that, whatever, this is how you pray, you know, this is how you meditate. No. I mean, yes, that's a form of prayer, and that's a form of meditation, and absolutely, and I'm not taking away from any of that.
It's not exclusive. It's not exclusive.
But it's not exclusive. You know, you don't have to be. You don't only have to go to church to be connected with God. You know, you can go to church and get connected with God, absolutely. And you know, lately I've actually been making more of an attempt to try to get to church every once in a while whenever I have the opportunity. And even that, in its sense, you know, I've been able to find my own peace in a different light. You know, it's just like you have to put yourself in the realms and the spaces, whatever form that takes for you to like feel like you're on the route to recovery, the route to a better life. You feel me? Because like, especially when you're, you know, I don't want to say especially, but like just from this perspective, just to give this topic perspective from these seats, and at least, well, I can relate it with Dan just in a city perspective, you know, like, that's my point. You get so caught up in the city life and whatnot, where it's just like, damn, I forgot my point. I was just gonna say city life.
From our perspective,
prayer, meditation.
Not always the answer. Not always the exclusive.
I was just gonna say. I think. Damn it. I'm gonna pass it off to you. I may get back to it.
Yeah.
I had a whole point.
I know. I was gonna wait. I was gonna wait to see where your point was made.
People in the comments, give me back to my point if you can. I forgot it. I forgot my point. I went so deep into it. That's what happens when you get deep.
And I guess going back to prayer and I don't want to like include organized religion in this discussion because like that's. But you're kind of right. Like prayer is a form of meditation, but I think it's not always exclusive, or like you can't like going to God for answers is not. I didn't want to talk about religion, but like. It is a form. Like everyone has, and like not every I think exclusive is the most important thing. Like it's not exclusive.
Yeah.
There's just like there's not one recipe for an apple pie. We have so many comparisons or like metaphors today. Like just like there's not one recipe for an apple pie, or not one recipe for tomato sauce. Wow, we're just coming up with so many metaphors. You can whip it up however you need to. Yeah, like there's so many different ways for you to meditate, or there's so many ways for you to clear your head. There's not one answer. There's so many different ways. It all depends on who you are. It's just like we're not all the same. I think that's the most important thing, that one solution does not equate the same for the other person. We're 7 billion people, everyone's different in their own ways. Not everyone can have the same excuse me, I'm sorry. Not everyone can have the same solution to the same problem, or like the solution to the same problem. Everyone's different, so don't think that just because one person did it this way that you have to do it that way, or don't think that because they did it that way that should work for you. That's not always the case. Like just like for example, some people are visual learners, some people are like audio learners. Like some people would rather listen to a lecture than write down than watch a lecture.
Absolutely.
Like some people would rather listen to a book than read a book. Like you know what I mean? Some people are just that much better, and it's just like it's all depends on a person to person basis.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why the meditation. I hope that kind of helped you get back to your point, maybe. No?
Yes and no, but I thought of another point. Good. So to continue on, which is on that perspective, it's like you think about social media, bro, and right, you see all these people and everybody, you know, in your head again, you might think that everybody is living their best life, and she's going to Honduras, and he's I don't know, got a new 6-figure job in California or whatever, you know, you see all these different people doing all these different things, and you're sitting here like, damn, like where does that leave me? Like I'm just stuck here doing the same things, and you know, there's no progression in my life, and yada yada, you know, again, like that's a whole other sphere of like insecurities that we put upon ourselves as like millennials and what's it called? Whatever the new generation is called, the Zoomers or whatever. It's like we have this whole other layer of factors that, like, I don't know, man. Like, just you didn't have that. You didn't before social media, before all these phones. It's like you didn't really have this extra layer of comparison, or should I say, like, accessibility and exposure to, like, everybody's life. You know, basically, like, you can see everybody's life, and, you know, like, God forbid that you miss a text or a DM or a message or a post, you know, and then you see somebody and they're like, well, why didn't you post me back? Why didn't you message me back? Blah, 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 blah. You know, it's just like, again, like social media is a great tool. Social media is a great asset. But at the end of the day, like, social media is not life. And I think especially, like, our generation, we get so caught up in it, especially as, like, entrepreneurs and people that are trying to, like, promote themselves, or, like, especially, like, you know, Instagram models that are, like, using social media to make bread, or, you know, whatever, you know, like, social media at the end of the day is just something where, like, I don't know, you can get really sucked into it.
Yeah.
And it creates a lot of insecurities, to the point where literally, what was it, last month, you know, that employee from Facebook, the whistleblower, came out and showed, you know, was telling the public, yo, Facebook has its own research and its own knowledge that it's negatively affecting these teenage girls. And they were saying, like, specifically teenage girls. This is, like, yes, absolutely, but this is affecting everybody that's using social media.
Yes.
Like, you know, like, they're absolutely right, but it's affecting everybody. So to the point where it's just like, yeah, you know, like, we've had so much our generation has so much pressure on us to, like, have everything figured out by our 20s, you know? And then it was 30s, whatever, and then social media came, and then it was like, okay, now you're seeing, you know, oh, this, that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, whole time, we have all these expectations, yet as we're growing up, you know, in our teen years, boom, we're living in a recession. And then, boom, 10 years later, damn near, we get stuck in a pandemic, in a recession. Let alone, you know, we have all this student debt, or you got to pay all your bills, you got to pay your mortgage, you got to pay, you know, child support. It's just like, you have all these things to pay for. And then, like, society, on the topics of society, this is where you can feel that. It's like, nobody gives a F. You feel me? Nobody cares that you got to pay your bills. Nobody cares that you have student debt. You feel me? Because the next person has that student debt, or the next person has 4 kids that they have to worry about. You know? So it's like, again, it's all these factors, all these different things that are making you feel like, at the end of the day, damn, I don't have my life figured out. I don't have things. Like, I as a 13, 14-year-old person at this age, envision myself to have a nice crib, and I had a nice, you know, wife, and I had kids or whatever. I didn't expect this at this point in my life, let me just say. But I'm just saying in general, you know, it's like, as youngins, we're expecting ourselves to be at a certain point. And then it's like, you get to this age, and then it's just like, damn, like, I may be doing great things, but I may not be where I want to be, you know? And it's just like, we have to give ourselves credit, because it's like, damn, bro, like, on the topic of society threw us into this pool, you feel me, of just corruption, you feel me? And again, like, you gotta count your blessings. Like, living in America, like, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of crap, but at the same time, you know, like, there's people living in countries that you know, they don't have electricity, they don't have water, you feel me? Like, your stuff could get cut off just like that, you feel me? Like, I've had these conversations with people. I know people that, you know, have gone through that, have those perspectives, have those families in those situations, you know? So it all goes back to perspective, and you got to count your blessings. And again, going back to my point before, it's just like, you got to internalize the good, obviously the good and the bad, but you got to, like, reap the good and, like, use it as your armor, as your ammo, to then project, and you, like, basically flip that negative, like Michael Jordan, you feel me? Oh, you know, so and so could be saying all this bad stuff, saying Michael Jordan ain't this, ain't that, he ain't gonna score, he ain't gonna do nothing. But then Michael Jordan's like, what? I'm the GOAT. Like, I know who I am. Like, nobody in this association knows themselves better than I do, being Michael Jordan. So what does this sheep, you feel me, have any perspective on my life? I'm about to drop 50 on his butt. You feel me? So that's how you gotta handle it for yourself. You're like in your own route. You know, it's like I don't care what so and so says. I don't care what Joe in the cubicle next to me has anything to say. He doesn't know my life. I know my life. I know I'm a dog. You feel me?
Yeah.
You got to give yourself that credit. You know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Give yourself credit for attacking those battles and making it this far and doing the things that you're doing. You know, like you were wishing that you could be in this position 5 years ago. You know, you were wishing that you could graduate college or graduate high school. You know, just get that decent job where you're at. Just get a job in general. You feel me? Like, give yourself credit for the things that you do have in life. You know, not just for the things that are making you feel like crap every day. You know, like there's good things in your life. There's good factors.
Yes, count your blessings.
Absolutely.
And I think it's funny that you said like living in America, like so many of the things we stress over, like other countries wouldn't even fathom, or like they would kill to have those problems. And I think perspective is so important on not just like on that wide of a scale, but just perspective even in your city or your neighborhood or your friend group. Like just having that perspective is so important, and empathy. Empathy is like I think one of the most important traits in a person. If you can empathize with someone, that you can put yourself in their shoes and understand what they're going through, then it makes it so much easier to be able to go up to them and be like, hey man, like hey, you want to talk about something? You want to talk about that? Yeah. Or like, hey man, like how are you? Like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? You don't seem like yourself. Yeah. Like, just being able to empathize and put other people's perspectives in mind with yours is just so important. Absolutely. And I think the perspective was a great point. Absolutely. Vane is trying to help you. She said, I feel like you were trying to say that city life can really cancel all the things for self-care maybe, or not as acknowledged compared to an urban area. Is that what you were trying to say?
I mean, honestly, I can't remember where my point was going with that. But on the topic of being in the city, absolutely. You know, it's just like, I don't know, man. There's just so many factors in the city that it's just so easy to bring you down. You know, and I don't know. I really can't remember my point. But at the end of the day, living in the city, I saw something that was saying like, I didn't read the full article, but the headline of the article was basically like living in the city actually like doesn't cause depression. But I was like, living in the city definitely causes depression, bro. You feel me? Like there's a lot going on in the city. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of factors. You know, you have people that get locked up. You have people that pass away. You know, I don't know, man. Like if you're not from the city, you don't live in that city life. You know, like you don't fully understand what comes with it. I don't know. You know, that's I guess I don't remember the point that I was trying to make, but that's I don't know. Just from like being out and not in the city for a few days, it's just like you kind of realize how I don't know. You take a step back from it.
Yeah. I definitely agree, because like going like just like for me going back home just like puts so many other things into perspective. Like you realize other things and like you look at your friends' lives and like you think about how they've changed and how they've grown or like what they're going through now. Like one of my friends has a son now, like, and he's like his life is like completely changed from like where it was like 2 years ago. Right. And like it like the way that he handles himself and the way his life goes about, like he's still like the same dude. Like at the end of the day, like he still like laughs at the same things, cares, still roots for Chelsea harder than anyone I know. But like at the end of the day, his perspective has changed so much becoming a father, and like his like he still makes some of the same jokes, but he says things in a different way as being a father, and just like perspective. Like I'm gonna keep stressing perspective and empathy. Like I think those are so important in mental health. Absolutely. Not just yours, but trying to help other people's mental health. They're just so important.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like I can't remember if I said it before, but this is what I was trying to say. On the topic of empathy, bro, it's like you can't be an empathetical person without understanding yourself. You know, not even just yourself as like Dan or myself as Gareth, but myself as a human. Yourself as a human, because this is what I learned, bro. Is like if you understand just your natural tendencies as a human, then it's so much easier to understand the world because you're like, oh, okay, I understand, I kind of get it. You know, I mean, yes, you're gonna process things differently as the next person. Like we all have different ways of seeing the world and processing the world, but it's like we're all more alike than we really, more than we really realize.
Yep.
You know, again, we're all dealing with things more similarly than we realize.
Yep.
You know, and at the end of the day, like whether it's factual or you have to kind of like convince yourself, it's like you got to find that middle ground where it's like you basically find a pocket where you're like, okay, no, I'm not the only person in the world dealing with this. You know, like there's 7 billion people in the world, you know, again, that are dealing with a lot more. And even in the sense of like, yo, there's like rich people like dealing with crap. You know, you got this whole Theo Epstein, or not Theo, sorry, Theo Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and Maxwell, his wife, I forgot her first name.
I don't know how to say
Maxwell, the whole trial with that, you know, and it's like you got all these rich people just in this whole pool of just terrible, you know, that's just a small word for the whole shebang that is that case and whatnot. You know, you got all these rich people doing terrible things, you know, so it's just like, don't think that money is always going to solve your problems. You feel me? I mean, yes, money can get you a nice therapist, right? And like money is going to help supply what you need in life, no doubt about it. But don't think that, oh, just because I'm gonna get this 6-figure, 7-figure job, that all of a sudden I'm gonna you're automatically gonna be happy and all of your problems are gonna be fixed. Because more than not, man, like you're gonna get all that money in the first week. You're gonna buy your car, you're gonna buy your nice house, you're gonna do whatever you want to do with that money that you always dreamt about, and then the rest of your life is like, damn, like okay, I did what I wanted to do. Now what? You feel me? There's this show, I don't know if you've seen it, bro, called Succession.
I want to watch it.
It's good.
I've heard it's really good.
It's good. I'm like on and off. My mom's into it, but I've caught some episodes. I actually caught the most recent episode, and this is like pinpoint of what this conversation is, bro. Is literally for people that haven't seen Succession, it's basically about this family. It's kind of like a Donald Trump and his family spinoff.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically like the main guy, his name is Logan Roy. He's like the main like CEO, big head of this big like media conglomerate, basically like Fox. You feel me? So like picture Fox and like whatever the main family of that is. That's basically what the show is about, right? So it's the premise of the show is that Logan Roy, you know, he's older, he's still got all this power, but he's got like four kids that, you know, they're already adults. They're like his henchmen and hench girl, whatever. Three guys and one woman. And the whole show is basically them trying to like basically who's gonna be the next heir to the
who's gonna be his successor.
Be his successor, exactly. So this most recent episode, you know, they're all trying to finesse each other, this, that, whatever. There's constant like they're all such a-holes, every single one of them. And basically one of the sons, like he through the journey of this show, he basically went off to do his own thing because his dad was trying to crucify him. So he was like, F that, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna try to get like the top role, blah blah blah. So he's hosted. It's his 40th birthday, right? So it's his 40th birthday, and at the beginning of the episode, he's like literally on top of this like big nice building, screaming out on like the balcony to the top of the world. He's like, "It's my birthday, MFs. You feel me? Like I'm the king of the world, blah blah blah." You know, ego on all high, bro. And I'm telling you, like these people are like filthy rich, bro. Like stupid rich,
yeah.
Like to the point where he's like talking his brother, and his brother's like, I'm about to hit the 1%, you know, like I'm running for president, blah blah blah, you know. So they're at like that type of class stature.
Yeah.
So basically the whole episode is the brother and his siblings at his party. You feel me? And it's this big, glamorous, like extravagant party. You feel me? As big as you can possibly think. You feel me? Like poppin', whatever. And like they're all engaging throughout the whole episode, yada yada, and it just turns into a crap show, bro. It's just like, but long story short, within the episode, you see just how like you can see how lame they are, bro. They have all this money, they have all this wealth, but like it's just like like it's so relatable because they're in just like a party scene. You feel me? And in most episodes, they're very like stuck up and they're in their suits and ties, and that's kind of like in the corporate world or just life in general. Everybody's in their gimmicks and their suits and ties,
Yep.
or dressed up however they want to, composing themselves a certain way, and then it's like boom, you go hit that party with your friends or your homies, and then everybody gets drunk, everybody gets effed up, people are taking the drugs, whatever they're taking, and then it's like you see everybody's real colors, right? And that's what this episode is. It's like at the end of the episode, basically like everybody's real colors are shown, and it's like I'm not gonna ruin the episode for people that want to see, but it's just like even the most rich, even the most like ritzy, most wealthy people that you may look at and look up to and be like, damn, like I want to be like that person. Whole time they're probably the most miserable people that you can possibly think of, because it's like you can have all this money, but it's like, do all these people really care about you? Do they even know you?
Like the people at the party.
Exactly. Or even your family.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, do they? It's like that was the dilemma. It's like, is my family coming here to my party to actually be here for
to
me?
Celebrate your birthday, or just to show up and party?
To show up to party, or even more so, like come to like finesse business opportunities and network. It's like like in the music thing. Like in the music industry. So and so, like I may know so and somebody may be trying to get to know me just so that they can get to know this person because this person's gonna help benefit them, and then in turn, once they meet that person, they're gonna throw me under the bus. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
It's all this stuff. So it's like at the end of the day, it always goes back to self-respect and empathy. You gotta know yourself. You gotta know, okay, I wouldn't treat this person this way, so I'm not going to surround myself with a person that I see is treating another person this way.
Yes.
You feel me?
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. That's an example on empathy.
That's a great example. Succession is on my shows to watch list.
Check it out.
I've heard a lot of good things.
It's a very good show.
I've been told by numerous people to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And HBO always has like one show at a time that's like people are just like, you need to watch this.
For sure.
So I definitely think that is that show right now. I don't know if there's much else we can say. I feel like we've said a lot in, oh my God, 80 minutes. Oh, what, 80 minutes? We've spent 80 minutes. Wow, we've been...
Yeah, man, we started a little late, but at the same time, that's just how it goes on Northside Plugged. Even when we're feeling, my fault. I was gonna say, even when we're not feeling like talking, you feel me? We
still talk.
Chop it up.
Talk plenty of time. Yeah, so I think I guess we can kind of wrap it up, just like to stress on the things that we said. Empathy, self-respect. Don't beat yourself up over things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so important. Like, to respect yourself and understand that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay that things go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't take it out on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like so many people just want to immediately blame themselves for doing wrongdoings. And like, sure, like sometimes you mess up. That's okay. We're human. We're not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one is perfect in life. Everyone makes mistakes. Like, exactly what Hannah Montana said. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows what I want to talk about. Everybody gets that. That's what Hannah Montana said, and I've been living that, and I've been trying to live that every day.
And look at who Hannah Montana is now. You feel me? Not perfect.
Not perfect. My girl Miley is being herself, and she is loving life. But being empathetic, being self-respectful, taking the time to fix your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Even, like we said, like, just take the smallest of steps.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes meditation on the bus ride to work. 5 minutes to just literally take your phone, face down, sit there and try to just think about your day. Think about the good things. Think about the bad things. Think about one thing that you thought could have went better. One thing that you wish, or one thing that could have went wrong but went well for you. And then reflect on tomorrow. I'm going to do this when I get home. Like, I think that just taking the smallest of steps to improve your mental health are so important. Absolutely. And we've been saying this for the past 82 minutes of the way that we just want everyone to know, and we want everyone to understand. that the brain is the most important muscle in your body. So doing anything you can to keep it healthy is crucial.
Absolutely. And another thing, in terms of brain stability is also, eating right, or at least, taking the steps to try to eat right. Especially in America, I can say this I can say in an American perspective. I know how easy it is to just eat garbage food, because it's literally everywhere. Literally everywhere you go, there's processed food. The main food groups of America is chicken, burgers, French fries, and soda, hot dogs,
carbonated beverages.
Literally, you feel me? So it's eat your fruits and veggies. You feel me? Hit that vegan lifestyle if you're feeling daring. You feel me? Or vegetarian, whatever. Or just watch what you're eating. Get the right balances of protein and all that stuff. You feel me? Because that really helps affect your mental wellness as well. You feel me? Is the stuff that you eat. If you're just eating crap all day, you're gonna feel like crap. You feel me? So that's another thing. Just everybody in your life, or every factor in your life, just kind of question and pinpoint: Am I doing the right things? Are there things that I can improve on? And ask yourself those questions. Take tonight to just reflect. Luckily it's Thursday night. Tomorrow's gonna be Friday. Hopefully y'all got the weekends off, and if you don't have the weekends off, you feel me? Hey, go hard and get your money, do what you gotta do. At the end of the day, just keep persevering, keep grinding through it, and just know that you're not alone. We're all out here struggling. We're all out here trying to make ends meet, get this money. You feel me? But just take it a day at a time. You feel me? It's just live every single day like it's your last, and just know you're blessed in one way or another, and find those blessings and just pray however you can pray, and just make it happen.
Yeah, make it happen, and check in on your peoples. That was the first thing we said, and I think that's so important. It's it's important to check your mental health and take time for yourself, but just think about how much you need, when you think about your struggles that you have with mental health, how important some people have been to help you get better. So, your friends and your family, how important they've been. So please check in with your people. I cannot stress this enough. Check in, even if you haven't talked to them in years. Please just check in with them. Just say, hey, how are you doing? Or, hey, I miss talking to you.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope you're doing well. And then just let things go from there. One simple text. You can get a text from a person that you haven't talked to for years, and you'll be like, oh my God, that person was thinking of me?
Yeah.
That's so awesome. That can make someone feel better in an instant.
Absolutely.
If you can be this person I haven't seen since high school was asking how I'm doing, that just shows that I crossed their mind and they care about me. That's so important.
Absolutely.
That's so important, and don't take that for granted.
Absolutely.
And like we were saying earlier, social media can be a burden, and it can be really taxing on your mental health. But it's so amazing how you can connect with people so easily. Social media has terrible side effects if you abuse it. But it's allowed communication between people to be a billion times better than it ever was 100 years ago. Absolutely. In 1921, you had to telegraph people. You had to be was literally just to say hello. It took you that long to just say hello to someone. Where now I can literally send a tweet to someone in West Africa and be like, hey man, I hope you're doing okay. I don't know why I said West Africa. That was just the first place in the world that popped into my head. But you know what I'm saying? We said, social media can be a terrible place for your mental health if you're not if you're looking at it in a negative perspective and comparing yourself to other people.
Right.
Like we said, no such thing as life better than yours. Everyone's life is equally as important. Just because someone else seems more successful doesn't mean that they're not all their whole life isn't perfect. Right. But the better parts of social media are the ones that allow you to reach out to people and to talk to anyone that you know, or even people that you don't know, that still might care. You might have internet friends that you've never met, that like care about you or just want to see how you're doing and like get along with or just like want to see or want to like know what's up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So check in with your peoples. Be empathetic. Have some self-respect. Treat yourself with the utmost respect. Eat well, sleep well, rest. Drink plenty of water. Drink so much water.
Key. That's a key right there.
I've been trying to drink more water on the daily.
Makes a big difference. And your poop is going to come out spectacularly.
Oh.
Fun fact of water drinkers.
For real?
Hey, man, you drink more water, absolutely. Your just whole intestines, all that's, you're going to be more fluid.
Flush it all out.
Oh, yeah. Because, man, that Coke,
that makes sense.
that Sprite, all them sugars, bro, they add up. You feel me? In your blood and whatnot. Like, that water, bro, the more water you can drink, man, I'm telling you, bro, like that's the way to go.
And I usually try to drink. See, I always try to drink water before bed, which is a terrible idea because then it's like 2:30 in the morning, and I just feel myself wake up and my bladder's about to explode, and I'm like, I don't want to get up, but I'm literally gonna I'm gonna pee myself if I don't get up. But yeah, I try to drink as much water as I can because I know that I do tend to drink crappy stuff, and the water, it's all about balance. It's all about balance with a large Coke and then a large water.
But at night too, like you can't, like don't. I mean, I do this just because I'd be thirsty, but like you don't want to like down a whole like half of a water bottle. You feel me? Just like take little sips at night. You feel me? Just so it's like you don't overflow yourself in the middle of the night, basically. You feel me? Like your stomach, basically. You know, because it's like if right before you bed you drink like half of whatever of water. First of all, it's just gonna sit in your stomach and you're gonna like feel bloated. And then you're going to have to wake up in the middle of the night. You're like, oh, I got to use a bathroom. You know, so it's just like nighttime little sips, you feel me, little gulps and whatnot, just to keep it all moving, keep it flowing at night. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, like if you can cut out them sugary drinks and, you know, maybe have an orange juice or apple juice every once in a while or something, you know, or if you're a coffee drinker, maybe every once in a while coffee, you know, but man, if I highly suggest, because I only drink water basically. I mean, I'll drink like chocolate milk every once in a while. If there's no water available to me, that's when I'll drink like a pop or something like that, if that's the only thing available. But it's just like, bro, like I've been like this for years, and it's just, I don't know, if in that perspective it feels really good, bro, because when I drink like beer or when I drink like sodas or stuff, it feels like it slows me down, and it feels like it's like artificial, like mini highs, you know? Yeah. So it's like that water, bro, that's what you're made of, you know? You're made up of a lot of water.
You're mostly made up of water. We're all mostly water, so it's important to refill that tank as much as possible.
Absolutely. So, as the great Mick Jenkins said, drink more water.
Drink more water. You want that.
Absolutely. Well,
thank God for waters.
Thank God for water. Yeah, that was a great project, man. I really love that.
Shouts out Mick Jenkins.
Shout out Mick Jenkins. We need some more Mick Jenkins.
Shouts out Chicago.
Speaking of, I don't know if we've ever had this conversation. I know Justin and I have had many conversations about this, but have you?
Thank God for the waters.
I think I mentioned.
Thank God.
You don't hurt everybody, right? Like,
have you heard of it? Yeah.
Have you? Did I like tell you to check them out?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I've been getting back into my hurt everybody vibes lately. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they used to collab a lot with Mick Jenkins.
Right. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
I don't know. That's a different topic. But on the topic of mental health, man, I think we've pretty. I don't want to say we've hit everything, but we've definitely hit a lot of good topics, and super appreciative to BossDan here. Super appreciative to everybody that was listening and streaming and tuning into the show, especially to the ones that are still here right now. Y'all are some rock stars, you feel me? Cause yeah, man, I mean, it's always, we were gonna have this conversation regardless, you know, but it definitely made it even more enjoyable to have people in the stream. You know, I saw we had a good 10 for a while, so that's definitely what's up. Y'all were consistent tonight, and we appreciate everybody that put a comment up or expressed how, you know, this conversation tonight was relating to them, you know, so we appreciate all of you guys, and, you know, you already know what it is with the Northside Plugged family. Got a lot coming, you know, we're always working over here on Northside Plugged, trying to get things situated. It's the end of the year, you know, so we got obviously, as we said in the show, we've got a lot of different factors going on in our lives, and dealing with those and trying to live life to the fullest of our to the best of our abilities. But just know we're always here as best as we can to keep the ball rolling for y'all, because you guys are the ones that we do this for. You feel me? We do it for of course for our own enjoyment, but the whole point of this is to project. You feel me? Like we're just kind of the medium of whatever metaphysical words I'm trying to use. That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
So appreciate y'all. That's pretty much everything that I have to personally say. I'm gonna give it to BossDan if there's anything else.
Just tell your people you love them. Let them know that you care about them, please. Say hello. Just check in with your peoples, please. I've said it 1,000 times a show. I'm going to keep saying it. Please check in with your peoples. Let them know you care about them. Your life is important. Just remember that people care about you. When you think you're at your lowest point and you think that there's nothing else in this life that's worth living, it's not true. The people care about you. People would be devastated to see you gone. Just remember that, please. I can't stress that enough. That's the biggest takeaway I'm gonna have today, and that's really all I need to say to them, is because I feel like I've said everything else I need to say, and you can go back and basically take everything we said today has been positive and has been our perspectives on mental health, and sure, whatever we say may not be like we said. Not everyone's the same. Not everyone has the same answers. Not everyone can have the same solutions to the problems. Everyone's different. Everyone's life is different. Everyone's life is just as important as the next person's. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or if you're working minimum wage. It doesn't matter if you have a big family or if you have like one friend. Your life's important. Please, just know that. And it's not weak to work on your mental health. If you feel like you need to stress, if you feel like you're too stressed out, too anxious, or overwhelmed with things that are going on, just please verbalize it. Please let someone know. Say it out loud. Meditate. Take a time to read something. Watch one of these cinema therapy things that Pedro talked about to connect. Just do the little things. Take the steps to improve your mental health, and I promise it'll go better. And I promise that if you take the steps to make your life better, it will get better. Please. Love you. Love your friends. Tell them you love them. Tell your family and friends that you love them. Because nothing in this life is guaranteed except death.
Absolutely, man. Well, what's it called? BossDan has said it best, and I want to thank BossDan especially, for what's the word? Initiating this conversation tonight, because this is definitely the route that I wanted to go tonight as well. So I'm definitely glad that life and God was on our side in this one, and everything aligned, and we were able to hit on very very important topics tonight, because like we've been saying the whole show, this is super important. And whether it's a whole show or whether it's a piece of a show, definitely know we're gonna continue these conversations, and whether it's on air or off air, we're always here to have these conversations, whether it's like a social group setting like this or just individually. It's very easy for people to say, and I know a lot of people say it, but I just know and believe that BossDan and I are two people that you can definitely count on, and we are definitely people that I'm more than happy to have these conversations whenever and wherever, however, So
Absolutely.
This platform, whether it be on air or just in life in general, just know that we are an open resource for you guys, and
yes, please reach out.
Absolutely, we're just continuing the movement of just building the community, building the open culture, and changing the narrative, changing the perspective. You feel me? We don't. On the top, last thing I'm gonna say is just because we're in the city doesn't mean especially in Chicago, everybody's mad and hating and this, that, whatever. It doesn't always have to be like that. You feel me? You don't always have to feel like you're in a negative situation. It's if you're in a negative situation, you have the ability to be that light in that situation, to maybe open and tap into somebody's heart, and then boom, next thing you know, you're starting a movement. You feel me? So start a positive movement in your own life. find that light within yourself and start like projecting it however you can. You feel me? Because life is way too short to be tripping and to be stressing about things that, you know, there's bigger things going on. You know, just count your blessings.
Yes.
So I'm gonna stop there because we can continue on. You know, so we'll continue the conversation of whatever it may be on our next episode of Northside Plugged.
Yes, we. Yeah, I guess next week will be a little bit more of a normal show. We'll talk more. We'll talk about the MLB lockout next week. Hopefully, I mean, I hope by the time next week shows around, the lockout's over because that would be sick.
True.
But I wouldn't count on it. So we'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about the battle at Wintrust that's happening on Saturday between Loyola and DePaul, renewing their rivalry that's been a decade in the make. That's been a decade break. We'll talk Bulls. We'll talk basketball. We'll talk Bears. We'll talk.
We ain't talking no Bears.
We'll talk Patriots.
Bears, I'm done to talk some Patriots.
After they beat the Bills on Monday night,
we ain't talking about no Bears, bro.
And we can continue this conversation on mental health.
Absolutely.
And just general health and well-being, because I think it's so important to talk about it, and we can continue to talk about it as we continue to grow as a show.
Absolutely.
And I just want to emphasize, G-Money, thank you all for tuning in, and we appreciate you all, and for all of our commenters, all of our friends, we appreciate you all for tuning in, and I hope you all have a great night. Take that time to meditate. Just please take one step. Drink some water before bed. Not a lot.
Not too much.
Not too much.
You're going to wet your bed, and you're going to wake up, you're going to be like, damn, bro. No,
you're going to be having a dream that you're at the bathroom, but you're not really at the bathroom.
No,
believe me, that's happened to me.
Damn.
I was like,
it's happened to all of them. Don't worry about it.
It's happened to all of us.
See, exactly. You're not alone, BossDan.
Okay, if we're being honest, I was 26. This was 2 weeks
last
ago.
week.
I had to get a new mattress. It was a disaster.
But that's another topic.
But yeah, we can talk about that next week.
What's it called? On a good note, not to say that none of this was a good note, but on a positive note, we got a Money Time video dropping tomorrow.
Money Time.
Y'all gotta check that out.
Go check it out.
We'll
post it. We'll post it more on Northside Plugged in our Instagrams tomorrow. But please check it out. I help the boys with it.
Crazy.
It's a jam. I was singing it before we went on air because I just love the song and I'm excited for it to get music video and to put it on playlists.
Yes, sir.
Very excited to put it on playlist because it's definitely a jam. It's definitely a bop.
Thank you. Much love, BossDan.
So, I love you guys. I love you all so much. You are loved. No life is more important than yours. Please have a safe evening and have a great weekend.
Absolutely.
And we will see you next Thursday.
Y'all be safe out here. Y'all have a good weekend, good week. Like the BossDan said, be safe. Make smart decisions. Don't get too teed up. Be safe. Get the perfect amount of teed up. Just right. And yeah, y'all have a good night. And take it easy on yourself. Don't be too hard. And we will see you very soon. Stay posted on the Northside Plug YouTube page because we're gonna have a lot of content dropping towards the end of the month. You feel me? And just moving forward in general. There's a lot of stuff going on. So we're gonna be here for y'all. So y'all take care of yourselves. We'll be here. We'll see you soon.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Take care. Be safe.
Yes. One love.